welcome back to my art studio. Today I'm going to take you on a journey through the chaotic world that is my sketchbook. I did a poll a few weeks ago right here on YouTube, and y'all let me know with your votes that you wanted to see how I use my sketchbook, so here it is. Yeah! Whether you're a seasoned artist or just starting out, I promise this video is packed with tips and inspiration to take your sketchbook to the next level. Now you might be wondering, why should I care about a sketchbook? Well, let me tell you, a sketchbook is so much more than just a collection of drawings. It's a safe space for experimentation, a journal for your artistic journey, and a place to hold your artistic inspirations. By sharing my process, I hope to spark some new ideas and techniques that you can try out in your own sketchbooks. So, in today's video, I'll show you just how I use my sketchbook to pre-plan all of my pieces, test colors, and work out compositions. I'll also share how I document my creative process, brainstorm new ideas, and keep myself inspired with a variety of visual references. And of course, I'll include some fun tips and tricks along the way. So grab your sketchbook, get comfortable, and let's embark on this creative adventure together. By the end of this video, I hope you'll feel motivated to fill your sketchbook with all of your artistic dreams and ideas. So let's get started. The main thing that I use my sketchbook for nowadays is for pre-planning all of my pieces. I always like to pre-plan my color combinations, my designs, and this is kind of an example of one of my pre-planning stage pages here. So on this page, I was kind of trying to figure out what colors I wanted to use where. I was just kind of comparing how the various color combinations looked together so I could figure out what color combinations I should use for this particular piece. This page was the page I used to pre-plan the giant abstract mountain piece that I painted a couple years ago. And for this piece, I was just kind of trying to sketch out, make sure that I liked my composition, and I wanted to make sure that the colors were gonna mesh well and look good together. So I just did a quick little sketch with the colors and the composition for that piece before I moved on to painting it onto the canvas, just to make sure the colors were what I liked, the composition is what I liked. And sometimes in my pre-planning stages, particularly this was for a paint class, so I designed an owl painting, which you may have seen on my channel, but this is how the owl piece started out, just a little sketch, and I had to write down the directions of what needed to be drawn out first and what needed to be painted first. And so sometimes my pre-planning also includes just a bunch of directions of what needs to be drawn first or what needs to be painted what. And if you see my little donut character, this is how he started out. This was my little pre-planned sketch of what I wanted my little donut doll to look like. And again, I just have some little notes about what I wanted to include with that particular character. So I love to use my sketchbook for pre-planning. It saved me a lot of time. I feel like if I get my ideas out onto paper, I pre-plan the composition, the colors, everything is just a lot easier to get onto canvas. When I am ready to get everything to canvas, it just flows a lot easier. It goes a lot smoother. So I highly suggest to use a dedicated page in your sketchbook for thumbnails. This helps you see all of your initial ideas at a glance, and it makes it easier to choose the best one. Sketchbook I used a lot to hold inspirational photos, so this was actually an assignment. We had to go find some paintings that we really enjoyed, and then we had to write about why we like this painting. This was an assignment for a class, but I really feel like this would be a good practice for any artist to really do, especially if you feel like you're kind of having some art blockage going on or you're kind of in an art funk. Looking at other artists' artwork is always a great way to get some inspiration and fuel some creativity for you. So this was just a bunch of photos of art that I liked or I didn't like and why I didn't like it. Also a really good exercise to do. The sketchbook also has a paint swatch here, and this was also an assignment, but it's another exercise that I highly suggest for all artists to have. If you just have a nice paint swatch page, it makes it a lot easier when you're trying to paint and you need to find that exact color that you're looking for. If you already have your paint swatches out, it makes the process a little bit faster, so I have that in here as well. These are just a bunch of notes about just my artsy things that were going on at the time. Basically, it's just a bunch of notes of paintings, things that I'm writing about, things that I was working on, art that I was working on. I can read you a quick page out of here. I've been working on the freeze study project. So far so good, except for the prismatic piece. I thought painting the background yellow would make it easier to see the bright prismatic colors, but it's the complete opposite. For some reason, the yellow keeps poking through the colors, so going to redo the prismatic one, I think. So I just wrote about stuff like that. As you can see, it's just a little note about what's going on with the piece I'm working on, what's going wrong with it, and maybe how I'm going to fix it. So this sketchbook also has some photos of my own artwork in here. I was trying to make myself a little portfolio thing at the time, so I have some photos of some very old artwork in here. This was an inspirational photo. I used to walk by this truck every day, and I wanted to paint it, so I took a photo of it and I painted it one day for a class. So I just put that in here. But I just have a lot of drawings and stuff like that in here, so that's another thing I utilized my sketchbooks for a lot in the past, was just for sketching in, getting my ideas out. Another thing you can use your sketchbook for is to hold photos of your artwork at all the various stages as you're working on it. As a wise old college art teacher told me one time, is that you should really document everything. It's like creating a visual diary of your artistic journey. So even if you're working on a piece, it's always a good idea to kind of take photos of the piece as you're working on it. So if you get to a point when you're working on your piece and you don't like what's going on with it, it's kind of easier to go back and look at those old photos that you took, and you can kind of see maybe where you went right when you should have went left. Here's an example. I've got a work in progress photo and then the final piece. I can kind of see where the piece started and where it finished off. There you have it, friends. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope it'll inspire you to go grab yourself a sketchbook. Please be sure to subscribe for more art content, and until next time, bye friends, live and love art!